Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode number 99. One away from a huge milestone. I started the show back in July of 2017, so gonna hit the 100 show mark next weekend. I'm so stoked about that. You are listening to Tech It Out. Thank you for letting me into your home or onto your phone. We have a great show planned for you this weekend. We'll talk about diversity in video gaming with the CEO and president of the Entertainment Software Association. You might just be surprised at who's playing games. It's not just the stereotypical 12-year-old boy. Next week, of course, is the annual E3 Video Game Expo, so expect some interviews recorded next week for Tech It Out's 100th episode. Also on this weekend show, we'll chat about Krugo. It's a new app that helps you and your crew, your buddies, book things to do, like sporting events and concerts. We'll learn about a new 7-in-1 device this hour that's essentially a wireless USB drive for your iPhone or iPad. It's called the DoBox Mini. And finally, Phyxable will join us to chat about virtual healthcare. All of this and more on this week's Tech It Out. All right, let's dive into our first interview. Close your eyes for a moment. Well, not if you're driving, of course, but tell me what image is conjured up when I ask you to imagine what a video gamer looks like, a typical gamer. Chances are you're thinking of a 12 or maybe a 14-year-old guy, maybe playing a game of Fortnite or something of the sort. But on the contrary, you might just be surprised who is playing games today. It's a lot more diverse than you may realize. Joining us to talk about diversity in the interactive entertainment space, we're joined by the newly minted president and chief executive officer of the Entertainment Software Association, Stanley Pierre-Louis. Welcome to the show, Stanley, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, when I met you back in March, I believe, at the ESA's headquarters in Washington, D.C., I believe you were the interim president, but now I understand it's official, so congrats again. Before we talk about diversity in gaming, please tell us what the role is of the ESA.
Well, thanks for having me. ESA is the voice and advocate for the video game industry. You know, today we're a $43.4 billion industry, and that looks at software, that looks at hardware, accessories, VR equipment, and it just shows the growth and the depth of our industry. One of the things we like to do is showcase the dynamic growth of our industry. We are leaders right now in job creation, innovation, creative expression, audience engagement, and consumer protection, and we represent all those interests for video game companies of various sizes.
And what's the size of the video game industry on a global scale, Stan?
Today, the global scale of the video game industry is $135 billion, representing more than 2.6 billion people playing video games around the world.
Wow, and no signs of slowing down, that's for sure. All right, now, contrary to popular belief, video games aren't only consumed by 12-year-old boys, like I hinted at in my introduction. What is the average or median age of a typical U.S. player today?
Well, today there are more than 164 million adults who play video games in the United States, and 3/4 of all American households have at least one gamer in them. And it just shows you the breadth and the scope of it. That's 65% of American adults. Right now, there are just as many people 50 plus and over playing as under 18, and there are more women playing video games than teenage boys. So you're looking at a very wide demographic, and the average age of a video game player today in the United States is 33 years old, 46% of whom are women.
Amazing. So nearly half of all gamers are women. And as you mentioned, a good number of them are 50 plus. I think a lot of our listeners will be shocked at those numbers. I know that the ESA publishes an annual report called Essential Facts, and a lot of that data is in there. It's a free download as a PDF from the ESA website, which we'll plug later. But Stan, this is pretty remarkable. Would it be fair to say that the types of games that are played by those who are, say, a senior would differ from those of maybe a 10 or 12-year-old? I'm sure there are, 65-year-olds who are playing Call of Duty, but generally speaking, are they different kinds of games, like puzzle games on mobile devices instead of a 3D shooter on a console?
The great thing about the video game industry today is that there's a game for everyone and there's a game for every demographic. So you're right. There are games that appeal more to younger viewers and younger players and those who are in the boomer category. So boomers, for example, do like puzzle games and Monopoly and those types of games that are played as a video game, whereas younger gamers may like the Madden sports and FIFA games. So you're seeing different kinds of game played by different demographics, and there really is a game for everyone.
And it's still fair to call them a gamer. I mean, according to your studies, your surveys, that, you know, if just because you play on a smartphone opposed to a PC or say an Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo, you're still a gamer if you're playing. Is there certain requirements you're looking for? Like, how do you determine if someone says they're a gamer? Is there any criteria there?
So what we do is we count anyone who plays video games for more than 1 hour a week as a gamer. With the growth of video games and accessories and devices, you're now able to play video games not only on consoles and on PCs, but you're able to play on mobile devices and other handheld devices. That has expanded the opportunity for people to play on all kinds. And so if you're playing on a mobile device, you're just as much a gamer as if you're playing on a PC.
And I really do think our listeners would be surprised to hear that almost half of all gamers are female. I think that's amazing. Is it a kind of game that resonates more with a female audience opposed to males?
There are certainly some games that appeal to more audiences than others. But what we've seen is that the growth and opportunity for education and for careers has led to more types of games that appeal to more people. Right now, girls who play video games are 3 times as likely to end up in a STEM career and to get a STEM degree than those who don't play video games. And so that just shows you the talent pipeline growing by access and opportunity.
That's great. STEM, of course, stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And I'm going to ask you in a couple of moments from now, Stan, about the people who are making the games. And is there any diversity there? I would assume so. We are chatting with Stan Pierre-Louis. He is the CEO and president of the Entertainment Software Association, or the ESA for short. We're talking about diversity in gaming, be it age, be it gender. And what about ethnic diversity, Stan?
Our industry works hard to ensure that the demographics of those who make video games better reflects the diversity of those who play the games. So we're seeing an expansion of diversity on all fronts. We look at ethnic diversity, we look at gender diversity, but we also expand that to think about other groups that have not been thought of in the diversity context. So that might mean veterans. It might mean the accessibility community. And it certainly means the LGBT community. And so what we're looking to do is expand opportunities in every sector because our audiences represent every demographic.
Speaking of accessibility, Stan, Xbox recently took a stance to include those with disabilities with their device called an adaptive controller. What's the ESA's thoughts on this? Maybe you could tell us a bit about it and your reaction.
Well, first of all, we were gratified and excited to see the positive response that the Super Bowl ad put out by Microsoft for the adaptive controller got. It's been a hallmark for our industry, a major achievement to send a message that playing is for everyone, and that's what we want. In fact, the Xbox Adaptive Controller received an award this year by the ESA Foundation for being a champion of increasing play for everyone. We're seeing that it's impacting lives in important ways, but we're also seeing other innovations on all types of consoles to ensure that everyone can play no matter what their accessibility needs are.
Mm-hmm. Encourage our listeners to Google the phrase adaptive controller. You'll see it in action. It's a controller that doesn't leave anybody behind. It's as the name suggests, it can adapt to any sort of challenge you may have, dexterity. Maybe you don't have access to both your hands. We've seen videos of people using their feet to play games, and it really is including everyone regardless of your challenge, which I really like. Again, kudos to Xbox for that. As we wrap up, Stan, we talked a little bit about this earlier, but I just want to end off on it. How diverse is the gaming industry itself, those who are making the games? I've noticed as a game reviewer that there's been black protagonists, Asian protagonists, a lot more female leads, heroines, instead of the typical guy, or at least the option to choose the gender and skin color that you want in a game, which I think is fantastic. So we are seeing a shift as well. It's not just a boys only, Caucasian club making these games these days.
Well, as I said earlier, our industry works hard to ensure that the demographics of those who who make games reflects those who play the games. We've seen, for example, the number of women working in the video game industry double since 2009, and we've seen approximately 30% of students who are enrolled in video game design programs being women. And that's increasingly true of other underrepresented groups. And as I've talked about earlier, expanding that definition to not only women and ethnic minorities, but also to the accessibility community, to veterans, and to the LGBT community. More and more, our audiences demand authenticity, and so you get authenticity by bringing in the people who understand those issues and concerns the most, but also who want to reflect it in the most positive way, and that's what you're seeing in today's video games.
Love it. Thank you so much, Stanley Pierre-Louis. Keep up the great work that you do at the Entertainment Software Association. The website for our listeners to check out your stats, including the Essential Facts 2019 guide, which was just published, what would be the best place to go to?
www.theesa.com.
All right, theesa.com. Stan, thank you so much again, and congratulations on becoming president and CEO. All the best.
Thank you.
Speaking of gaming, don't forget the E3 Expo takes place in LA this week, where I will be, and next weekend's show will be mostly about E3. Thank you to ASUS, the sponsor of Tech It Out, and its ROG, or Republic of Gamers, line of laptops and desktops and accessories. You got to tech it out at asus.com/US/radio for ASUS, ASUS, and its Republic of Gamers devices. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. As much as I love the iPhone and iPad, it does have a couple of limitations, like no USB port to add more storage, for example. And what if you can use a mouse and keyboard with your iPhone or iPad? Well, a new device claims to do all of these things and more. It's called the DoBox Mini. That's DoBox Mini. Joining us on the line to tell us all about this 7-in-1 adapter is Gabor Dooley. He's the marketing manager at FruitDoc, the makers of DoBox Mini. Welcome to the show, Gabor.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me here.
And we've got you on the line all the way from beautiful Hungary. Hope you're having a good day.
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, Gabor, let's start right from the top. What is the DoBox Mini all about?
So, DoBox Mini is a wireless hub for iPad and iPhone devices. It offers true wireless connectivity in an all-in-one hub. So we had a previous product called DoBox.
Right.
And this is similar to that. It's a version of the original DoBox, but this one doesn't have a battery, so it's more for a home use.
All right, so the DoBox Mini is the latest in your line of products, and this one is now more for home use, whereas your first product was more for mobility, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So tell us what the DoBox Mini can handle. I know I called it a 7-in-1 adapter earlier. Please walk us through what it can do if you have an iPhone or iPad.
First of all, it offers wireless connectivity. So let me share an example. That's the easiest way. So, for example, you have a file on a flash drive, and you want to open it on your iPhone. So currently, that's not available for iPhone, or there's no way to do it. So you will just get a DoBox or DoBox Mini. You put in the flash drive into the USB port, and then you open your iPhone, open the DoBox app on your iPhone, and then you can see the files from the flash drive, and you can manage the files, delete them, manage them.
So the DoBox Mini is for a PC or a Mac. It's not to plug into an iPhone or iPad, correct?
No, it has USB-C, and you plug the USB-C to the wall. And then it has all these ports that you can plug other devices onto.
Something that can plug into the wall, even though, how do you plug USB-C into the wall?
We give you an adapter for that.
Okay, so let's just clarify then that the DoBox Mini is a device that you plug into the wall, so it's for stationary use, not for on the go. And it is a 7-in-1 adapter. It is a wireless device with storage too, right? I mean, can you copy files from, say, a computer to the DoBox Mini, and then when you're on your iPhone or iPad, you can access it?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So why would someone want to do that opposed to uploading a file to the cloud, for example?
Because it even works offline.
Oh, so even if the internet goes down, but you still need Wi-Fi, no? Or how does it wirelessly communicate?
You would need your home router.
Right, okay. It's also a multimedia player, right? I mean, you can copy, let's say, a video onto the DoBox Mini, and while it's plugged into the wall for power, on your iPhone or your iPad, you can stream content to the device, right?
Streaming is not available yet, but if you already have the file on the DoBox Mini, you just need to plug in an HDMI cable, connect it to your TV, and then you can use the DoBox app on your iPhone or iPad like a remote controller. And you can do the same with music.
And I understand there's also file sharing support.
Yes, if more people connect to the device, then they can easily share files without internet.
Okay, so if you came over to my house, for example, Gabor, then I can send you a 100 megabyte audiobook, for example, over the DoBox Mini. And even if you have an iPhone which doesn't have a USB port, I can transfer it to you that way, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, great. Are there any other features of the DoBox Mini that we've missed? So it's a 7-in-1 wireless adapter. It's a multimedia player. It's got 32 gigs of internal storage. It's got HDMI support, so you can connect it to a TV or a projector.
And what I would add is the mouse feature.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So for the first time ever, you can use a traditional mouse and keyboard on your iPad, but only inside our app. What this means that we have a built-in browser, so you can basically do everything online on an iPad with a mouse.
I've seen keyboards that work with iPads, but I haven't seen a mouse that works with iOS.
Yeah, that's true.
So it won't work on the operating system level, but inside the app, like in the browser?
Inside our app and inside our browser, it works, but outside of it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, great, Gabor. So finally, how much does the DoBox Mini cost, and where can our listeners order one?
We have an Indiegogo in-demand campaign. So if you want to buy one, just go to Indiegogo and search for DoBox.
And that's one word, DoBox Mini.
Yes. And the current price is $109.
Okay, $109 US.
Yes.
Great. So it's called DoBox Mini, DoBox Mini. It's a 7-in-1 wireless adapter for iOS devices. Gabor Dooley, thank you very much for your time, and good luck with the crowdfunding campaign.
Thank you very much.
When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to learn about a new app called Krugo, built for helping you and your buddies make plans, whether it's sporting events, live concerts, and more. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
You're listening to Tech It Out, episode 99. There's so many different apps that do so many different things, but instead of a mobile application simplifying our lives, sometimes it can, ironically, complicate things. Well, a new app called Krugo aims to change all that. It's an entertainment discovery and group planning platform, be it your weekend plans with a partner or bigger group trips with your buddies. Joining us to tell us more is Kirk Morrison. He's the CEO and co-founder of Krugo, which is spelled Krugo. Welcome to the show, Kirk.
Hey, Mark. Thanks a bunch.
So let's dive right in. What is Krugo all about?
So basically, you can think of Krugo as the digital headquarters for the plans that you're making with your friends and family. So first and foremost, it's an app to discover things to do. So whether you're just looking for something to do on the weekend, wondering what events might be going on around you, big ones and small ones as well, you can fire up the app. I think what makes it really unique, though, is really good for traveling. So if you ever pop up in a new city, maybe you're on a business trip or a family vacation, you're not quite sure what you're going to do on your Tuesday night or your Saturday night, you can fire open the app. It pulls in all the events that are going around you, spanning sports, concerts, theater, festival, anything you might be interested in. We've got over 130,000 events from around North America that we pull in.
Oh, cool. And it uses, I'm assuming, the GPS of your smartphone to identify where you are if you're already in that city. Otherwise, you can type in a destination that you know you'll be traveling to, right?
Absolutely. So the homepage of the app uses your GPS location to show you what's going on in your immediate vicinity. So again, whether that's at home or whether you're just arriving in a new city. But if you're kind of doing some preemptive planning, maybe you've got an upcoming vacation, just simply type in the name of the destination, the dates that you'll be there, and you can browse all of the events that'll be going on.
So it's been said that good technology solves a problem, and I sort of painted one off the top of our interview. But as the founder or creator of Krugo, what was it that bugged you about the process of booking things to do in a certain city, and what led you to create the app?
I think I had like two different experiences on a regular kind of recurring basis that led, I guess, to the inspiration of Krugo. The first was being planning trips with my friends as a sports fan, a big Toronto Blue Jays fan, but living in Western Canada was always kind of looking for that next trip out to Toronto. Which matchup did I want to see? But it was that experience, trying to find out, where I was going to go, trying to make the most of the experience, that if I was going to go see a sports game, could I also see a concert? Could I see another sports game? So we called it 10-tab trip planning, because you had all the different event schedules. You were trying to compare what was going on in Boston versus what was going on in Toronto versus New York, and all the kind of pain that went along with that. I think the other experience that I had was as someone who traveled quite frequently for work. Again, same thing. If I was going to be somewhere for work, I was hoping that I could take in an event, maybe stay an extra day. And it was that kind of same experience of trying to find out, are there some cool concerts in town? Are there any of the sports teams in town? So I think those two experiences, as somebody who was just a big event fan in general, found it difficult when I was going to be in different cities to kind of pull all that information together. So
would you say the two biggest applications, Kirk, would be concerts and sporting events, or does it also handle things like restaurants or live theater?
Yeah, we've got certainly any type of event you might be interested in, whether that's a comedy show or a music festival, concerts, Broadway theater. Don't yet currently have things like restaurants, but that's definitely in the plans, is that we can help, really provide you all the information you need to kind of plan out your social experience. So we can use the data about maybe where you're staying, the things that you're doing, to show you relevant restaurants that are around you. So that's really kind of the plan, is that we can start to pull all of these different things together. Maybe things that already exist in silos, you'd have to go looking for the information, but we just want to make that more accessible for people.
We're chatting with Kirk Morrison, CEO and co-founder of an app called Krugo. When you find a place that you want to visit, like let's say it is a musical theater or it is a sporting event, do you get to book it through Krugo, or does it just tell you the information and then you link somewhere else?
We have all the information on tickets available. We're partnered up with a couple of large companies, so Vivid Seats, a ticketing company out of Chicago, and Booking.com out of Amsterdam. So we actually are able to offer Krugo users access to their full inventory of tickets and properties worldwide. So when you're in Krugo, you have that information at your fingertips, so you can kind of get a sense of what the price on the tickets are going to be, how much a hotel might be, all that type of stuff.
Where does the name come from?
This is kind of a funny story, I guess. Like with any new product, you're looking for a name that, can be trademarked. Not many words left to be trademarked. So we were just like literally fooling around with different name ideas, putting different sounds together, came up to the word Krugo, but ultimately it had kind of a deeper meaning, and everything that we're building with Krugo is meant to be shared with groups. So where will your Krugo is kind of a tagline that we coined.
Got it. Where will your Krugo, Crewgo, but the app is spelled Krugo. I thought it might have had something to do with your name, Kirk, as the initial. No?
Sure. People guess that all the time. But yeah, but once you hear where will your Krugo, it usually sticks with you.
Yeah, got it. That's a great idea. How much does Krugo cost to use for us, like our listeners?
Yeah, it's absolutely free to download on the App Store or Google Play. You can use it to browse, find all the different things going on. We're adding new features literally every week. Again, the only thing that would cost you is if you do find an event you're looking for tickets, you can find those right on the app and purchase them right there.
So is that how you monetize the app? You get a percentage of that, or are there ads and other revenue streams?
There's no ads in the app. That is our monetization is through our partners at Vivid Seats and Booking.com. So if you have a good experience with the app, you find a good price on a ticket or accommodations booking, that's how we benefit, is through commissions on those bookings. But same competitive prices that you'd find right from our partners directly.
Cool. So as we wrap up, you did touch on the fact that you may consider things like restaurants in the future. What else are you anticipating for Krugo in a couple of years from now?
I think, really it's our goal that it's the headquarters for your social life, and it becomes a social utility in terms of making plans with your friends. So if you can think of anything that you try and coordinate with your friends that maybe is kind of a pain in the butt to do, whether that be deciding on what movie you want to go to on Tuesday night, or, there's a new restaurant in town that you're trying to get a group of people together to go check out. That's what we want to do, and to bring more content and more bookable offerings into the platform so that we can really just start to push things to our users based on their interests, rather than having to go out into the world and look for all of this information. And there's a lot of it nowadays, as we know. Speaking of information, is there a website where we can learn more about Krugo? I know you can download the app from Google Play if you're on Android, or the App Store if you're on iPhone or iPad. For sure. KrugoApp.com. So KRUGOAPP.com. All right, Kirk, thank you very much. Sounds great. Best of luck with this app. Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Before we continue on with the show, a thank you to ASUS, the title sponsor for Tech It Out, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Hey, welcome back to Tech It Out. What if you can get pain relief and physical therapy and rehab with therapists and doctors with decades of experience, but without leaving your home? Well, a new online platform called Phyxable may be able to help. Spelled Phyxable, Phyxable was designed to help you with pain and overcome minor injuries through video programs. And now joining us on the line to walk us through how it works is Dr. Jimmy Fang, co-founder and CEO of Phyxable. Welcome to the show, Dr. Fang.
How are you, Mark?
I'm great, thank you. And congrats on the launch of this new app, which is a gateway to the platform, from what I understand. So let's just start right from the top. What is Phyxable's mission statement?
Yeah, Phyxable empowers people to start fixing their aches and pains at the comfort of their own home. And we're really pushing for people to start preventing injuries in the future as well. Our mission is actually to help 25 million people in the next 5 years to get out of pain.
All right, and let's chat about how it works. So as I hinted at in the introduction, Dr. Fang, it's a video platform that works through mobile devices. And can you talk to us about how this differs from a traditional visit to a clinic?
Absolutely. So I've been practicing for the past 10 years, and we've noticed that half the people walking through the doors, they're able to start fixing their own aches and pains with rehabilitation exercises that can be done at home. These are exercises that are based in research. So we have a team of 14 practitioners that takes this really heavy research-based solutions, and we dumb it down to very simplistic, easy to follow videos and feedback tools within the app to not only engage with you and show you the right solution, but also give you feedback as to how well you're doing over time.
All right. So obviously the benefit to a clinic, and you've, as you said, you've run successful ones over the last decade or so. The benefit there is having a physician or a clinician right there with you, that they can show you and physically touch your pain points and work you through some rehab or some exercises. So in this case, though, because it's done remotely, this is a video instruction. Is it pre-recorded? Is it live? And can you get comparable results by doing it yourself?
Absolutely. So we found that the people, our initial test group that were using the solutions, were 45% of them were getting even better results than your typical clinic, because it notifies you to actually do your exercise and do your preventative on a daily basis. So you're actually always kind of progressing along the way. In regards to the solution being the right solution for you, we're actually building AI into the solution, so it gives you the right solution at the right time and it progresses you in the right levels.
And just to go back, so these are not live videos with a clinician. This is pre-recorded videos that you would follow through?
Correct. The exercises are pre-recorded videos, but we will have a concierge that kind of will address some of your pain points and what solutions are best for you as well.
And speaking of pain points, what are the areas of the body that you specialize in?
We're eventually going to have solutions for just about every injury and physical ailment, but we start with a basic thing like posture. Posture is, I think, it's something that's been in the news more recently with little gadgets, and as well as ergonomics. And then we work towards low back pain, which 8 out of 10 people suffer from. And usually they break down to 2 different types. So it's pretty easy to create protocols for. We'll have neck pain. We'll have, for runners, IT band injuries, runner's knee, your basic solutions.
And I understand you can also help people who suffer from headaches as well.
Correct.
Talk to us about that, because that's less about physical therapy or physiotherapy and more about just pain management.
Absolutely. So headaches breaks down to a few different types of headaches. The one that we really focus on are cervicogenic in origin, meaning coming from the neck. And they're little suboccipital muscles or muscles right underneath the neck that causes these issues. And we can address those by using a simple tool as a foam roller and 3 different exercises, actually.
We're chatting with Dr. Jimmy Feng. He's the CEO and co-founder of Phyxable. That's Phyxable. Who would you say this app is for? Is it for maybe younger sort of millennials who are more comfortable with a virtual tool like this? Or is it for maybe on the flip side, older folks who may not be as easily able to go to a nearby clinic?
We have 2 different models. Our main demographic is about 25 to 45-year-olds, and are people who probably are not very physically active, just have been in the workforce and just noticing that their body's starting to wear down. The other our use case is actually at old age homes where the lead exercise practitioner actually takes her solutions, guided video solutions, and gives it to a group of older population.
Okay. And so what do you need to get going? Again, I know it's an app, and we'll talk about pricing in a moment, but does it work with both iPhone and Android devices?
Yeah. Our current version is available on the Google Play as well as the App Store, and you can just download that right now. We have another version coming out at the end of March, actually, that's going to be really guided and smart. We're building some machine learning, so it gives you the better solutions.
When we return on Tech It Out, we'll continue our chat with Phyxable, and I'm going to specifically ask about how these videos leverage artificial intelligence. You know, if it's a one-way video, how does it help you or personalize that therapy session with the patient? So I'm curious to know about that, and I've got some other questions in mind. And you can hit me up on social media to tell me what you think about Phyxable, or if you use Phyxable and you like it. Again, it's spelled Phyxable. I'm on Twitter at Mark_Saltzman. That's Mark with a C, underscore or underline SALTZMAN. You can join the conversation. You could use the hashtag TechItOut if you like, and let me know what you think of this service, this 21st century alternative to physiotherapy. So love to hear from you. But when we return, we will continue our chat with Phyxable as we wrap up our final segment for this week's show. Coming up in a few moments, you're listening to Tech It Out on the Radio American Network. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Dr. Jimmy Fang, co-founder and CEO of Phyxable, that's spelled Phyxable. We're learning about a way to get pain relief, physiotherapy, and rehab with therapists and doctors through your phone instead of going to see someone in person. Now, before the break, Dr. Fang, you mentioned how these videos will apply AI or artificial intelligence. Can you give us an example on how AI or machine learning would affect the videos if it's pre-recorded, and how do you get that feedback loop in there?
Right. So it asks you questions along the way as to how well you're getting over time, as well as it'll ask you the right orthopedic questions, so it points you to the right solutions. And also it caters and learns from the platform and learns from the signs and symptoms from patients. And over time, we can actually create better solutions and better research for actually in-house, in-clinic use as well, which exercise really work.
I was just going to say, I'm sure you can benefit from the data on that. Is there or will there be a web version for those who prefer to do this in front of a computer?
Yes, they'll be with the launch.
Okay, there you go. And then finally, how much does Phyxable cost?
As cheap as $5 a month on a subscription basis, and we're actually lobbying to get our solutions covered by your work benefits.
Oh, and what's the process like for that? Do you have to? It sounds challenging, but you have to.
Yeah, we're currently in late talks with two insurance companies right now. So our main thing is to get that adopted as just ability for you to submit your forms when you pay for Phyxable to get that covered. And eventually we want to be a preferred providers, because ultimately our solution is significantly cheaper. It's actually up to 95% cheaper than your traditional in-clinic cost, which, you still need clinic care. I believe there's still hands-on stuff and acupuncture and things that you can definitely use hands-on care. We're not the end-all be-all solution for every solution, but it's a great starting point. And we also refer back to the clinics when it's something that we can't cover.
Okay, so for some, depending on what they're suffering from, it may be just enough and what they can afford as well sounds like the price of a cup of coffee per month. But for others, it would augment what they can do in person, such as, acupuncture and other hands-on therapies that could better help that condition. So that makes sense. And it isn't a one-size-fits-all scenario. I respect that. All right, so the website to learn more is phyxable.com, right? Phyxable, or you can just go to the App Store or Google Play and download the app to get going.
Correct.
All right, Dr. Jimmy Fang, thank you. Thanks so much for your time, and good luck with Phyxable.
Thank you, Mark.
For the remaining moments on this week's Tech It Out, I thought I'd dip into the old mailbag and answer some questions from you, our valued listeners. One is asking about videos on their smartphone. I have too many of them, so much that I've run out of storage. I've moved these videos to my computer, but do you know of any free software I can use to create a DVD to show my family? So you've successfully accomplished the first step, which is to transfer the videos from your smartphone to a computer. That's great. The next step is to create a slideshow that you can either upload to social media or burn to a disc, as you talked about, playing it, back in a DVD player or a Blu-ray player or a game console. So you've got those two choices. One is to keep it digital. Another one is to copy those files onto a piece of plastic to play elsewhere. While it's not part of Windows any longer, you can still download Windows Movie Maker if you're familiar with that program. You could just Google Windows Essentials to find and download that. And it is easy to drag and drop the photos and videos into the desired order. You can add transition sequences and special effects, add music and captions, and even narration if you like. There are other highly rated and free movie making programs as well. And of course, for Mac, Apple's own iMovie may already be pre-installed on your computer, and that's a great pick right there. Next up, make sure that you have an internal or external DVD burner to create that disc, or copy the video to a USB thumbstick, a thumb drive, and plug it into many new TVs, or upload it right to YouTube or Facebook or Instagram if you like. And then finally, be sure that you back up those irreplaceable photos and home videos. Maybe you're going on spring break, like we talked about this hour, and you don't want to lose those movies, so upload them to a free cloud provider like Microsoft's OneDrive, there's Dropbox, iCloud, iCloud or Google Drive, to name a few. And also hedge your bets. Also do offline storage, like a hard drive from Western Digital or a flash drive from SanDisk, for example. You could send me your tech questions too at tech@marksaltzman.com. That's TECH@MARCSALTZMAN. Or you can hit me up on social media. Thank you to my sponsor. Tech It Out is brought to you by ASUS, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. ASUS, for those in search of incredible. Visit asus.com/US/radio to check out all of their cool products. Again, that's asus.com/US/radio. And yes, the company is pronounced ASUS. I know that for years I called it Asus, and many other people do it as well, but they've clarified with me that it's ASUS. All right. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone. Wishing you a fantastic week ahead, and I look forward to chatting with you next weekend on Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.